The Lettering.js plugin is a very versatile plugin. It allows you to kern type and select individual words, letters, and lines if you wanted to. So we're sold on that, and so here's the plugin itself. We've added the plugin to this practice pen here on CodePen, and now we're going to test it out, make sure that we understand how it works. The documentation for this particular plugin is right down here. I want you to get used to getting documentation and examples from various sources. The documentation for each plugin is going to vary by the developer, but once you can read one set of documentation, you can pretty much read any of them. So once we go to the wiki, we can see here we have the basic lettering, and so the basic lettering in this example is going to take our word, in this case our H1, and then it's going to break it out into individual spans, and each span is going to have a class, and it's going to have a char 1 all the way to however many characters there are. So character 1, character 2, character 3. And so jQuery works by first the selector. In this case we want the H1, and we're going to apply the action of lettering. Again, we're referring to all actions right now as, we're referring to all methods or functions as actions. And right now we don't need any options because this is the default. And if we inspect this, we'll see that it has indeed applied these characters for us. So char 1 on the O, char 5 on the T, and char 9 on the second T. So we can do first select our H1, and let's make it a little bigger. How about 5em? And now we can take the character 1 and give that a color of orange, and then dot char 3, 5 I believe. Let's see here, we can give that a color of teal, and then dot char, let's go ahead and just inspect this, no point in guessing, char 9, we can give this a color of aqua. Alright, and those are that's the default of selecting each character. And if we take a look at the documentation, we can do more. We can wrap things by words. So it'll take a single word and break it up into span classes that begin with word instead of char. So our option here is words, and that's plural because the developer says it should be plural. And so our styling for our chars went away, but if we take a look at this, we have a class of .word1, .word2, and .word3, and we can simply replace all of these chars with words, or word singular. And it should be word 1, word 2, and word 3. And so that's how word works. And then the last option here is wrapping by lines, and you specify a line with a line break. So we have our H1, and we simply put in a BR tag, and that'll say make a line there, break a line there. And now we have 2 line breaks, so we should have 3 lines. And our option currently is lines, and the documentation says, our option currently is words, and the documentation says we want to use lines. And we're going to make a mistake here on purpose. Instead, we're going to say line. And notice that it goes to its default styling and it doesn't give us any hooks. So again, the case sensitivity of JavaScript is really important, and now we use lines correctly following the documentation. That we have a class of line 1, line 2, and line 3, and we can replace those words with line for each individual line, and there is our styling. Once you have it working on a pen, you can copy and paste this out and apply it to your project.